It's always wonderful to come back to the lively Hungaroring, a popular destination this, nice and close to the beautiful city of Budapest, with some exciting racing to boot. Who can forget Michael Schumacher pushing his old teammate Rubens Barrichello up towards the pit wall in 2010, or those great races of 2014 and 2015 as well. 14 corners then for our drivers to navigate at the 2.7-mile Hungaroring today. It's 6 lefts and 8 rights around a lap here, with average speeds in the region of 120 miles per hour. And it's an absolute pleasure to be joined once again by Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Smith. That was a solid result in their last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
There are never any guarantees in this business, but certainly the performance last time out would have boosted their confidence coming into this one.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he starts from pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Norris, Lucas Faber, Smith, Stroll, Magnussen, Hamilton and Devon Butler, Raikkonen, Albon. They've taken a grid penalty, and Leclerc, Ricciardo, Perez, George Russell and Carlos Sainz. Kvyat and Romain Grosjean sits at the back of the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
You're lower on the grid than we wanted. See to it that we improve throughout the race. System checks are good. We need to stay in formation and start bringing the car up to temperature, please. Get some load into the tyres and work the brakes. We want them nice and warm by the end of the lap. Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid has formed. Be ready with the clutch. plus. Is behind you. They're on fresh softs. Their tyres are 1 lap old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1 minute 28.4. Officials have enabled DRS. DRS is now available. Vettel is ahead of you. Okay, gap ahead is 3.5 seconds. They're on old softs. Norris is behind you. They're on old softs. The gap to the leader is 4.0 seconds. Your pit window opens in 2 laps time. 32 laps to go. Medium tyres at the next stop. Gap to teammate ahead is 3.8 seconds. this lap, push now. Careful on the tyres. Our data is showing some wear. Most likely you'll be able to feel it. Box this lap, please. Exit now. We'll be doing one more stop today. One stop left in our strategy. Excess fuel. We'll be back on target soon. Don't wait too long to turn the engine down. Is in for his stop. seconds. Some energy harvesting, reduce ERS deployment. Hamilton is ahead of you. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 13 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1:24.7. You're closing in by 3 seconds a lap. Some time to the car behind. is 1.1 seconds. They're on fresh hards. Hamilton behind. They're on old mediums. Our gap to first place is 7.6 seconds. Pit window opens in 5 laps time. 5 laps, 21 laps to go. sat in P2. Vettel ahead. Okay, gap ahead is 3.2 seconds. They're on old mediums. That's Valtteri behind. The gap is less than a second. They're on old hards. Pit window will open in 3 laps time. Pit window opens in 3 laps. 19 laps to go. You'll be on mediums. Showing small signs of wear, power output will be down. Some information on Leclerc, they seem to have an issue. Vettel is ahead of you, they're on old mediums. Their tyres are 11 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1 minute 22.8. We're gaining by around 0.2 per lap. This lap, give us the best in lap you can. race. Reduce the ERS deployment, please. We need to charge the battery. Go now. Catching the car ahead, but be aware that these tyres need to last till the end of the race. Gap to car in front is 3.3 seconds. position. Vettel ahead. The gap to the car ahead is 3.0 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Albon behind. Our gap behind is 7.9 seconds. They're on old hards. Okay, gap to leader, 13.1 seconds. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. 11 laps to go. That's a new fastest lap for the race. We're in P4. Vettel is ahead of you. Our gap to the car in front is 2.2 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Albon is behind you. The gap to the car behind is 11.3 seconds. They're on old hards. The distance to the leader is 11.1 seconds. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. 9 laps to go. They've fixed whatever the problem was. They're coming back up to speed. Reduce ERS deployment. to see some rain about 10 to 15 minutes from now. Started to catch the car in front, but we need to look after the tyres. We won't be making another pit stop. We have 5 laps of fuel remaining. P3, you are currently in P3. Push that ahead. Okay, gap ahead is 3.2 seconds. They're on old hards. Vettel behind, they're on old mediums. The gap to the leader is 7.1 seconds. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. 6 laps to go. We need to charge the battery. There's 3 laps of fuel remaining. Data is looking positive so far. We think there's plenty of life left in these for the moment. yards. Their tyres are 24 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:22.5. You're gaining by 1/10 a lap. Is 3 seconds up on you. You're increasing the gap to the car behind by a few seconds per lap. Keep this up. Somewhere on the ICE, be aware that we will start to see a loss of power. There's only 1 lap of fuel remaining. Caution, caution. Green flag, we're racing again. This is your final lap of the race. Valtteri's dropped out of the race. Great job, you've done everything we wanted today.
The Mercedes team pulled out a fantastic performance today. They should be proud. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, tyre management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again. Let's Let's have a look then at the drivers' standings. It wasn't the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Charles Leclerc showed exactly how to manage yourself out on the track today. He was almost flawless out there. Incredible stuff.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. The current championship leaders still hold top spot, but that gap is getting smaller. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. Well, looks like your luck has changed. Things went a lot better than last weekend, didn't they? You really cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy? It wasn't the cleanest race today, was it? It looks like you've invested heavily in the development of new parts. Great. Well, that's everything.
Just wanted to say congrats on the podium. It's thoroughly deserved. We were sweating those last few laps on the pit wall, but you brought it home.
We're asking for too much here. We need to make some compromises. They didn't like those terms. Let's try again. Our proposal has been accepted. The new contract will take effect from the next race weekend.